special guest.
Yes.
Very excited.
Yeah, we are indeed, because we have got the House Gospel Choir, well, some of the House Gospel Choir in the studio with us. Natalie Maddix, Lizzie Nightingale and Harrison Attlee. Now, let's talk about the House Gospel Choir and its meteoric rise, because it's celebrated 10 years now, Natalie. Natalie Maddix is the founder and creative director of House Gospel Choir. How did it all come about, Natalie?
It's actually really simple. I love raving and I love singing with other people. So I'd been working in the music industry for a while, tour managing, and I was just like, oh, I just miss making music. So I just called up some of my friends and was like, do you want to meet up and learn the harmonies to beautiful people? And luckily about 11 of them said yes. So in that first rehearsal, it was 12 of us. And the following week, they all brought a friend. And very quickly, we had about 40 members.
But what is your background? Did you come from a gospel choir background?
So, not necessarily, no. So I went to Pentecostal church on Sunday schools, a Christian Church of England, and went to Catholic secondary school. So 3 very different types of choir experience, but the community feeling in all of them, it was always there. And then I started raving at about 13. Yeah, about 13, but like under 18s, obviously.
So we've also got Lizzie Nightingale, one of the singers who knows Ronnie Harrell really well. We'll ask you for some stories a bit later on. But tell us about how you joined the House Gospel Choir.
So I went to see House Gospel Choir in 2016 at the Jazz Cafe, and it was the first time that I had heard them perform. And I remember the moment that I was like, I need some of this in my life. It was a song actually that Natalie wrote called Oh Glory, and it was just so uplifting, and I got really emotional. So the next day I was like, right, where do I sign up? Like, how can I get in? So, you know, I went to like a taster session the following April, and then from there it's just allowed me to be part of an amazing community that I don't think I would have found, you know, other than that. So
Can I also just say that during COVID, I watched quite a lot of your videos over and over again because they were so uplifting and inspiring. And I don't know if you've seen Summer of Soul with like Amelia Jackson, people like that. So what kind of choirs do you also look up to, or people, singers like that?
Kirk Franklin, obviously. I'm a massive fan of Richard Smallwood. There's so many amazing choirs. The Mississippi Mass Choir is probably still one of my favourite sounds. You guys, what's your favourite choir, do you think?
House Gospel Choir.
Come on.
But Sounds of Blackness, obviously.
Sounds of Blackness, obviously. Yeah. And also London Community Gospel Choir are a huge inspiration for us because they've been going, I think they celebrated 30 years, or I think so. Forgive me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I just also, Harrison's here as well. Harrison in the corner. Hello. Yes, we can hear you. Yeah. So tell me about the harmonies, because I'm going to get technical now, because my family do a 3-part harmony and they're amazing, but it takes them a few days just to kind of get the 3-part harmony right. Now you have up to 70 members. So how do you manage to do 70-part harmonies? I mean, please tell me.
By mistake.
Sometimes, yeah, it does feel like that.
We tried to keep it to 3-part most of the time. We've got to shout out our choir director, Daniel Thomas, on that one. He just has it on lock, basically. He's been directing choirs for the better part of years. And yeah.
So is he quite strict then, obviously, to try and get you all in line?
Yes, yeah. We're quite, what does he call us, fizzy? Like, we're quite sugary because, you know, fundamentally everyone's there to have a good time, but also the technique employed, it comes from the root. Like, it's a proper gospel choir training experience. We train really hard. We've been training every Monday for the last 10 years.
So the first album, Required, that came out in 2020, didn't it?
It did.
Right, so we're going to play a track from that. We're going to play, this is an original track, Salvation, isn't it?
Yes.
Is that written by you guys?
Written by Angie Brown and Joe Killington and myself.
Okay. But what was the first gig that you guys ever played?
We had our first warm-up gig in the basement at the Ace Hotel in a club called Miranda, and that was amazing. We sold that out. and it was a lot of fun, and all of our friends and family were there. And then our first proper gig was Glastonbury.
So that's big, isn't it? How did you get that? That's like a first gig. That's big.
So I actually kind of got the gig before our first rehearsal. I'm going to be honest, because I was asked, do you know any choirs? And I've been wanting to do this for so long. And I was like, yeah, I'd been programming choirs at the Olympic Park. And I was like, I've got this choir that does house music. And he was like, well, talk to the agent and see what they think. And they went for it. And I told them the songs we'd be singing. And I kind of didn't expect them to say yes, but they said yes. So we had 8 weeks to put together the first show. And yeah.
So if anyone hasn't heard the first album, Required, tell us a bit about what's on there, because there's quite a lot of covers, aren't there? What covers are on there?
We did a cover of Most Precious by Blaze and Barbara Tucker. Goodness, my Gypsy Woman.
Wookie.
Roy Davis Jr.
Yeah, and that was a cover, but also Wookie reproduced that for us as well.
Did he?
So, yeah.
Wow.
So that's all new production by Wookie. What were you saying? Hallelujah Anyway.
Latch
by Disclosure.
But there's also some original productions on there, like Salvation.
Yes.
So we're going to talk more about the second album later on. We've got so much to cover here today, haven't we? And we were saying earlier that you do a mix of original productions and covers, and the new album has got quite a lot of original productions on it. So over the years, you've worked with so many people. We just touched on some there, didn't we? Wookie and Latch and Disclosure, not Disclosure, Rudimental. I'm trying to say. But also, you've kind of done some touring with some big stars as well, haven't you? Talk us through that.
We have. We've been able to collaborate as a choir with Kylie Minogue and... Why does my mind always go blank? I'm
Hold on, Shaka Khan.
Only last weekend.
Only last weekend.
Shaka Khan asked us to be part of Meltdown Festival, so we created a new show called Sunday Service.
Did you see her? Did you meet her?
I saw the back of her. I believe it was her getting in the lift.
The hair.
Yeah, towards the after party. But yeah, no, unfortunately, because she had her show in the main hall. But yeah, 900 people came to see House Gospel Choir that night. It's incredible, and such a very different show for us because it was more acoustic, very stripped back. And it's something we want to continue doing as well.
And of course, Nile Rodgers.
Yes, we. Thank you. I don't forget.
Lizzie, Harrison, help her out. Anyone else?
What was Nile like?
Nile is one of the nicest guys, and because we did the studio session with him for the Free Now campaign, he directed us and told us what he wanted. We just made a song on the spot. Yeah, it's great.
I'd say a lot of the other collaborations came out of lockdown when we were doing the videos, because everyone was just locked up in their houses with nothing to do, and we were just there so that kind of opened the doors to work with Crystal Waters, Janice Robinson. There's too many to mention. Beverly Knight.
Harrison, can I just say props to you, because off air we were talking about how you managed during COVID to get all the members of the House Gospel Choir to sing in perfect unison on the videos, because that must have been tough to do, especially with lag and a little bit of feedback and some, and 10-second delays.
But it kept me busy, which I was grateful for.
But you also, when you play live, you DJ as well, don't you, Harrison?
Yes. Yeah.
And you play the keys, don't you, Harrison?
Yeah.
Is there any room for Janice and I to play the triangle in the choir?
Absolutely.
I could perfect maybe a 70-part harmony.
Let's go.
We're going to play one of your tracks now, aren't we? Most Precious Love. Let's do that.
Lorraine and Janice on Mi-Soul Radio, Friday afternoon vibes, and that in the background is Rudimental, Two Fox, Hamza, and House Gospel Choir, and Keep Your Head Up. What an inspirational track. I feel uplifted after listening to that. We've got Natalie and the House Gospel Choir with us in the studio this afternoon. So we've been talking about, the fact that you've been around now for 10 years. 10 years, that's a lot of material, isn't it?
A lot. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the repertoire.
So Lizzie and Harrison, do you all get to decide who you do collaborations with? Do you all put your 10 pence worth in?
Not decide. I feel like that is definitely Natalie, and I think just because of the way House Gospel Choir is moving at the moment, we're so blessed that people, you know, come and ask us, like, can you jump on this, you know? We decide, I think, more from an vocal arrangement perspective, but for the performances, it's definitely DJ Harrison that makes those decisions.
Yeah.
So.
Is there anyone, Harrison, that you would love to work with that you haven't already? Put you on the spot there.
Go on, Harry.
There's a ton. Okay, I got one. Duran Bernard.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah.
We love Duran.
Sensational.
Yeah.
Sensational. Off the top of my head, mine's gone blank. That's the first thing that
Okay,
came.
did you ask Shaka Khan last weekend?
She's retiring.
Shaka was working. Shaka was working. I don't think she would have appreciated us being like, can you do some more work? And right now. Yeah, no.
So not only
That would be amazing though.
have you released one major album so far, but we've also had like some brilliant club tracks from you now. One of the biggest tracks to have come out in Clubland last year was in fact Angels, wasn't it? How did that come about, Natalie?
So Lizzie's actually my songwriting partner. So we write together a lot, and we started writing that one with Max from Two Fox, Renelle, and Rudimental. And it was a song essentially about grief, you know, and also when you lose people, there is an opportunity to celebrate life and find joy in that moment as well as just be sad. So that's what the song's exploring. And then Crackerzat said, yeah, we'll do a remix.
Yeah.
And our friends at To The Rock backed us and put it out, so we're always grateful to them and Piers and the whole Rudimental team. So that's how Angels came about.
You talked about Two Fox there. Now Two Fox were in the studio with us on Peterborg on Tuesday this week. So have you done a lot of other things with them, or?
We've done a few writing sessions.
Yeah.
Renee and Max are just they're so good. They're so good and just such like talented and open creatives that working with them and collaborating with them is just always a joy.
We 100% supported that track on My Soul. We love it so much, and
grateful.
Lorraine and I play it out whenever we can as well. Gets the dance floor
Thank
firing.
you so much.
We're going to play it right now as well. Here's Angels, the Crackerzat remix from House Gospel Choir. They can do no wrong with this track. What an amazing tune this is, Angels. Crackerzat remix. We were playing it constantly. We still are on My Soul. So thank you so much.
Indeed. Now, we have got House Gospel Choir in here with us. We have Natalie, we've got Lizzie, and we have got Harrison. Sorry, I nearly forgot your name. Sorry, Harrison. But what I wanted to know is, if you could create a fantasy lineup of people to be in your choir, like I'm thinking of people like, you know, your Whitney Houstons, your Aretha Franklins, your Anthony Hamiltons that came out of gospel background. Who would you pick? I'm going to go around the room here now, okay? So you can pick one artist alive or, you know, not alive anymore. And you can be in your fantasy choir. So I'm going to start with you, Lizzie.
Fantasy choir. That's a really hard question.
Why don't we do a section each? So
Sections.
Who'd be your altos?
Okay. Can they still be alive?
No, it can be either alive or dead, doesn't matter.
Leanne LaHavis,
Yes.
Patti LaBelle,
Yes.
Lauren Hill.
Yeah.
Altos. Yeah.
Good choices.
Oh goodness. Okay, so my soprano section would be Martha Wash, Whitney Houston, and Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Like we're going sopranos. Yeah.
Okay, for tenors, I would go. I said it before, I'll say it again. Duran Bernard, Donny Hathaway, and Stevie Wonder, sure.
Yeah. Let's go.
Would we like to
Okay.
put Jocelyn Brown in there as well?
Yes.
And-
no, she's the choir director.
And BB Winans.
Yeah.
And Mahalia Jackson.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe.
We should have a game, shouldn't we? Fantasy choir.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of fantasy football league, fantasy choir.
on it.
Oh, and Kim Burrell.
Yes.
Of course.
All
Yeah.
of them.
Right, the new album. Got to talk about the new album. We'll be playing a track from that in a minute. But tell us, like, because I'm really interested, actually. How do you go about, Natalie, making an album with 70 people? How do you go about writing that album, putting it all together? The logistics are, like, mind-boggling.
I mean, we start by not trying to work with 70 people to create because even as musicians and great vocalists, everyone has different strengths. So I write often with Lizzie. For the most part, we go in with different producers and we write for other people as well. She's a prolific songwriter and vocalist. Amazing. And then we often send it to Harrison just to fact check our vocal arrangements and make them even better. Harry directs a lot of the recording sessions. I direct some as well. And we bring in maybe 12. The other day we had 24 in the studio to record the choir parts, and then we decide who will sing the lead. So it's yeah, and because we rehearse every week, we can teach new material and try things out all the time. It's like a lab, right? Yeah.
It's my favourite part.
Yeah.
But when you do go on tour, how many people do you tend to bring with you?
I think most like festival shows and tour shows are about 12 vocalists, 4 per harmony section. But every now and again in London we get to do a bigger lineup. So last Sunday we had 40, and the Christmas show we had 30. So yeah, we try and go big as much as we can, but logistically and cost-wise, it gets up there.
So you also are playing at the Margate Soul Festival. How many of you are going to be on stage
I think we'll
then?
have 12 at Margate, yeah.
And Lorraine and I are going to be there, so if you
I think
can
we have
incorporate
14.
us somehow into... maybe you can pretend to like DJ in the background.
Like just, I don't know, just set up their equipment or something like that.
You know what? You joke, but Harrison?
Yes, come on!
Yeah.
Actually, I will need a hand that day.
Dancers.
No,
No,
DJs in the
DJs.
background, yeah.
right.
Pretending to
dancing.
do something or other.
Or introducing them.
Yeah,
That'd be even
introducing
nicer.
them.
We can introduce them on stage.
You're in the choir now.
Okay, you're in the family. Because I did read actually that you have like about 400 people sort of worldwide that are kind of part of your organisation.
We teach online in the winter months when it's a bit harder for everyone to get together. We do Sing with HGC online, and this term we had 300 in February, and they're literally from all across the world. So there's a lot from the UK, but we've got people in Europe and a couple in Australia and the States that log on and sing with us.
Can we touch on the new album?
Yes. Yeah.
And talk about the people that you've collaborated with there. Lizzie, do you want to talk
Sure.
about who's on there?
Wow, so Natalie and I started writing the originals maybe like 2-3 years ago, originally with Two Fox and Rudimento, and it's just kind of progressed from there. And it's crazy how the song, how the original sounds, and then as it evolves over time, it's been a really beautiful experience to kind of witness the evolution, I guess, of our creation. So it's pretty
So
cool.
there's still some covers on there as well,
Yeah.
because our that's where we come from. The live show, which is how House Gospel Choir started, it was just all about like almost like a live DJ set with a full gospel choir. So there's songs like Optimistic and maybe Promised Land.
Promised Land.
Promised Land
You
is
told
on
me
there.
something about Promised Land, which is
did.
one of our all-time favourite house tunes on the album.
Yeah, I mean, there's this legacy of vocalists in dance music not getting their dues, not being paid properly, not being credited properly. So we have a real... we always make sure we go back to the original vocalists as much as we can and get permission to cover their songs and see if they'd want to collaborate. And on this occasion, Joe Smooth said yes. And so we have a new version, like very stripped back, that Harrison produced and vocal arranged with Nikki Brown. And and we've got some original new vocals from Joe Smooth on that as well.
I love that. I mean, can't wait to hear that.
That's on there as well,
Yeah, and maybe the original, it's 30 years of Dreamer this year. Live Enjoy released that song 30 years ago. And we asked Janice Robinson, the original vocalist and songwriter, if she'd be on our version. She said yes.
Excellent.
So that's on there too.
But like you were saying, this album has got a lot of new original material on it. So we've got the track we're going to play today is an original track. It's called You, and we're going to do a live version in the studio with Lizzie.
Yes.
Are you up for this, Lizzie?
Absolutely.
Are you ready?
Come closer to the mic.
Yeah.
Come on,
Done.
get yourself prepared. Do you need any water?
I'm good. Thank you.
Yes.
Your rights, your wrongs, your trials, your glory. Don't be afraid to tell your story. Use your courage and don't be afraid. Though I know that it's hard to be brave, there is power in all that you say, 'cause you're fearfully, wonderfully made. You have got the strength, it's always been you. Have got the fight, you know what to do. With all this love, it's all up to you. Have got this, you have got it. You got it. You got it. All this love, it's all for you. You got it. And you got it. It's all for you. Your rights, your wrongs, your trials, your glory. Don't be afraid to tell your story. No.
Use your courage and don't be afraid.
And don't you be afraid.
Oh, I know that it's hard.
I know it's hard to be brave.
There is power in all that you say.
All that you say.
'Cause you're fearfully
Yes, you are. You have got the strength, it's always been you. Have got the fight, you know what to do. With all this love, it's all up to you. Have got this, you have got it.
Woo! Lizzie, you're on fire. I mean, come on, that is amazing. House Gospel Choir live in the Mi-Soul
The
studios.
new single, You, taken from your new album, Love Is the Message. When is that coming out?
The album is out on the 9th of August. That track was actually produced by a producer called From London, just around the corner in Peckham. He's amazing. And his son features on it as well. So when you go and stream it, you'll hear little Loe singing as well.
Excellent. So when we see you down at Margate Soul Festival, do you know what your set list is going to be yet?
Not entirely. I know you's going to be in the set. There's a few of your favourites will be in there.
Just send us, the stems of the track and we will, come up with the harmonies.
Well, Natalie, Lizzie and Harrison, thank you ever so much for coming in today. It's been an absolute pleasure. House Gospel Choir.
House Gospel Choir.
I listen
Thank
to your
you.
show all the time, so this is a real treat for me. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.